All right, Shalom, Michael. First and foremost, I'd like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahushai, Bahasham, Racha, Kodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect that's teaching His word in all true faith and sincerity. And today I just want to tie this lesson. The stage is set. Everything is right on schedule. Pretty much the conditions, the weather. Yeah, I mean, everything is going according to plan, according to prophecy. The testimony of our Lord Yahushua, man. And one of those things, the intents of the Lord is the ultimate destruction of America by the way of World War III. And in that, you're going to have the enemies of America as well as its allies to, burn the whore, so to speak. And as we get closer and closer to the perfect day, it's becoming more and more manifest. Budding forth is beginning to manifest. So I got this article. This from Newsbreak, UPI News, and it reads: North Korea's Kim calls for nuclear attack readiness after missile drill. See, so pretty much you have North Korea, Kim Jong-un, Salaki, is pretty much prepared for a nuclear attack. Get attack readiness, which we know that the Quran will have to come first. That's the process of prophecy. But even in that, everything is going right on schedule, because it talks about immediately after the tribulation, the sun is going to be darkened, meaning, that period of time that Jacob's trouble is going to take place, and however long the duration the Lord allows it to happen, this man implement that thing. So, right after that, that's why it says immediately after that destruction is going to take place, man. And you have to entertain this idea. You have to, consider World War III. And matter of fact, before we go into the article, let's get that word stage is set. I had looked that up, that phrase actually in the spirit. Let's get it. It says, what does it mean the stage is set? It's an idiom. Also, the scene, stage is set. Yeah, because this is the plot's plans. This is according to the script of Yahweh Shai. It said used to mean that the conditions have been made right for something to happen. See, and what's that the conditions that have been made right for the thing to happen? Everything is set up for ultimately America to be destroyed, the so-called white man to be violently overthrown. And the conditions are, you having these different missile tests, which now they have become more efficient in this time. It's not like the atom bomb. They have the supersonic missiles. So everything is being made right for this to happen, man. So let's get some real quick before we go into the article. Isaiah chapter 9 and verse 5, it reads, for every battle of the warrior is with confused noise and garments rolled in blood. See, and that's what you have in the ancient world. You actually had to get up on your opponent, and thrust through with the sword. That's why I would say you would be rolled, their garments rolled in blood, because it was up close, and that confused noise dealing with the shields, the sword hitting the shields, or the bones hitting, crackling, Again, hack that war, the war cries. That's that confused noise. But these are the different aspects of the war of the ancient world. It says, but this, meaning this battle, because this is the end all be all. After this, not going to be no more war. Because that's what we're finna witness, the perfection of war. War at its climax. And the sword himself had to be on the scene for that to take place, which is Esau, the so-called white man. That was his blessing, the sword. And we seeing this man have perfected the sword. Concerning this battle, when you go into, even the scriptures go into details concerning World War I, when you read Revelation the 9th chapter, it goes into those dog fighters. So under this devil, this man have came up with military vehicles, and you got grenades and, like I said, fighter jets and shit. All the way up to now, you have those missiles, man. It says, but this shall be with burning and fuel of fire. And that's why even Einstein said World War IV would be fought with sticks and stones. Because after this, man, the third war takes place, man, it's not going to be no more war when you read the scriptures. But there's going to be a burning fuel of fire. And we seeing the instrument used that's going to cause that. That's why now you have those terms, nuclear war. Yeah. Because that's what else could it? It's not going to just be just ground troops. And it's gonna get to a point where those arrows are gonna be shot across the world, man. And this is part of that prophecy budding forth. You got to consider this, because this is the plans of Yahweh Shemel Shai. You gotta acknowledge that World War III is biblical, because these are the plans of the Lord. Don't you see it taking place on earth? So this is going into the article. It reads, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un oversaw weapons drill and called on the military to get perfectly prepared to conduct a nuclear attack. State media reported Monday. So as you can see, that has been a trend too as well. These different military drills and war games, as they say it. Coming up with these different plans and drills and different operations, because the spirit on the earth is war, man. It's a big shakeup that's about to take place on the earth. These other nations see that the so-called white man is falling out of power. But hey, this also describes let the weak say I'm strong, man. North Korea, as you can see, they pretty much have put their stock into most of their military, as well as these other third world countries, as they call it, because most of their budget goes into their military, man. It says the North held a 2-day exercise over the weekend to practice its nuclear response capabilities. State-run Korean Central News Agency reported, including a ballistic missile launching on Sunday morning. It said the drill marked an important occasion in preparing our nuclear combat force to rapidly and accurately perform its crucial mission of war deterrence and securing war initiative any movement and under any unexpected circumstances, Kim said. So pretty much, ultimately, they getting prepared. It says he stressed the need for military personnel to get perfectly prepared, and that's what you see on earth through the spirit power Yahweh Shemel Shai. All these nations are being prepared. They being gathered, you know, because ultimately it's gonna get to the point where these other nations gonna gather into the valley of Yehoshaphat, you know, to go ahead and duke it out, man. But it's ultimately for all of them to be overthrown at the end of the day. That's why I talk about with the heathen, imagine a vain thing. Because they putting all this effort into, you know, these different weaponry and for them to defend themselves or even to overcome certain countries or whatever the case may be. But at the end of the day, they still, all these other heathen nations are going to fall, man. But the Lord have set them up and have them to get the technology, because ultimately America got to be destroyed according to the plans and purposes of Yahweh Shema Shai. You know, so yeah, they are perfectly prepared. It says in their active posture of making an immediate and overwhelming nuclear attack anytime. And he said overwhelming. Why? Because of that. Hey, and that's what it's going to be. It's going to be that's why it's going to be that lake of fire, man. Matter of fact, let's get some. What's that? Psalms 58. Talk about that lake of fire. What is going to be because of those arrows. Let's get it. Psalms 58 and verse 7, it says, let them melt away as waters which run continually. And when some melt, shows that heat, no fire, is the cause of it. It says, when he bendeth his bow to shoot his arrows. So as you can see, those arrows, it was going to bring forth the melting. And what is those arrows? Those missiles, man. Let them be cut as in pieces, because ultimately this is what's going to violently overthrow this man. This is what's going to cut him off right here. See, this third world war is going to cement the downfall of the so-called white man. You know, when that destruction comes, he's not going to be able to bounce back from this. That's why I said, when it said in Malachi the 4th chapter, it tells you that oven shall burn as an oven. The Lord's not going to leave neither root nor branch. So ain't no way you can bounce back from this judgment. You know? But as you can see, the arrows is the reason behind the melting away as waters. And as you read in Revelation 20 chapter, talks about that death and hell shall be cast into the lake of fire, meaning America is going to be totally on fire, man. Because of the overwhelming, parade of missiles, man. And not just from North Korea. It's going to also be from America's allies. What's that? And I think that's Revelation the 17th chapter, I believe. Yep, this is Revelation 17 and in verse 16 it reads, "And the 10 horns which thou sawest upon the beast, these shall hate the whore." See, so even American allies, you got NATO and EU, and as you can see, we seeing the build up to it. Certain things America do and the decisions they make is, damaging how these other countries operate, and they compromising certain things and shit because, but ultimately something gonna happen where these other nations gonna turn on this bitch. It says, "And shall make her desolate and naked, and shall eat her flesh and burn her with fire." And what that fire is concerning the thermonuclear fire, man. It says, "For the Most High have put in their hearts to fulfill His will." See, this is the plans of Yahweh Shema Shadow. At the end of the day, it even talks about the weapon itself, the thermonuclear missiles. It talks about how the Lord created the Smith. You got these different scientists. You had Oppenheimer, and Yahweh Shema Shadow put the spirit on you. to come up with that, man. He gave this devil that because that was his blessing, the sword. To the point where it wasn't just with, he wasn't just kept off by learning how to sharpen a sword or even with the gun. The Lord said with this man, the Lord gave this man the knowledge of splitting atoms and smashing them together and shit. That was the plots and plans of Yahweh Shema Shai. It says, for the Most High put in their hearts to fulfill his will and to agree and give their kingdom unto the beast, until the words of the Most High shall be fulfilled. See? Because it is revealed. The Lord said with his devil created this empire, and it was perceived to be unstoppable. Even when you read Revelation 13 chapter, it talks about who's going to make war with this beast. How would you be able to overthrow this man? He had this military might. But we know it was going to be our Lord Yahweh Shai going to overthrow this man. And that's how the Lord set it up. Well, it was going to be Yahweh Shai. It wasn't nothing. You had a bad military strategy. No, that's not the case. But as you can see, this is the purpose of the Lord for this whole to be on fire, man. So you already got North Korea, you got the other nations, you got Russia, China, pretty much everyone they have nuclear capability is going to shoot over her. Matter of fact, let's get it. Jeremiah 50 verse 14 says, put yourselves in array against Babylon round about. See, really, America's surrounded. Little do they know, the pride is devil have deceived to where even your allies is going to become your enemy. So this bitch is really surrounded, man. It says all ye that bend the bow. See, meaning all that have nuclear capability, all those that have those missiles, man. India and let's say China, the Korea, Iran, Germany and shit like that. Guess what? They're gonna all bend the bow and shoot at her. See? Who is that her? Babylon the Great, which is America. Spare no arrows, for she have sinned against the Lord. See, so meaning what? This is gonna be an overwhelming judgment, man. To what this is what's gonna bring that lake of fire. The total annihilation of Babylon the Great. And this is the plots and plans and purpose of Yahweh Shema Shai. The Lord is working on the hearts of the king's mind, the king's hearts, the kings of the earth in their hearts. That's why you hear Putin making certain statements. Even Trump tweeting. That shit, how about Shema Shai stirring shit up on the earth, man. Even with, Lil Rocket Man. That's the spirit. He, that name is associated with him. But it just shows you where we at in this process of prophecy, man. We coming to the perfection that ultimately America's about to be destroyed. And that's just one example. That's one part of that budding forth. Going back to that article, is budding forth. The prophecy of World War III. And as I mentioned earlier concerning the process of it, we even seeing the Charagma show you that where we at in this process, because that's the next big thing. The Charagma, the MOTB, the hour of temptation. But it says in St. Matthew the 24th chapter, immediately after the tribulation, that's when that destruction will take place, and that's where we at, man. So yeah, I hope to edify and like to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Racha Kodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone. Shalom to the elect. Let's teach the word in our true faith and sincerity. DTA, above all. soon, very soon.